Hey Nail Techs, it's Jill Wright from nailtechevent.com. And are you struggling? Do you need to raise your prices, but you're afraid to raise your prices because you just know all your clients are gonna leave you and that you just know this? Let me ask this. What if it's a mistaken belief that you've convinced yourself is true? What if that is not really the reality of what's gonna happen? You're holding yourself back from success by saying no for the client before you've given the client a chance to say no. I've raised my prices for 36, 37 years now almost. I learned it from a male stylist that I worked at, my first job. He taught me, never say no for the client. He said, you don't want to ever assume that just because your client has paid 30 bucks for a service that they're not gonna pay another 20 or 30 bucks in retail products to maintain that service. And so, he also said you should never judge a book by its cover because often the most poor looking people are the ones that have the most money. Now, I took that to heart, I did. And anytime I felt squirrely about raising my prices, I would just think, what would Scott do? And I would think like a man and I'd get my feelings out of the way. And I would do the business the way a man would do because you don't see men struggling like you see the females. When they know it's time to raise prices, they raise their prices. Some people cannot afford their services anymore. You wish them the best. If you want, you can refer them to another nail tech. But I promise you, you will be making more money doing fewer people, and then your holes where those people were on your appointment book, they will fill in. And like what I do, when I had those situations, I would just ask my clients to be like, hey, I got an opening at Tuesday at 5 o'clock for a standing appointment. You know anybody who wants to take it? They would hustle and they would find me clients and pull me in clients because they knew like what my services were about. So don't feel like you're not worth it. Just because you personally on your budget feel like that's too high of a price to pay, that ain't saying your clients feel the same way. They get cost of living wage raises every year. A lot of them are gonna cry poor like they can't afford it and they're faking you out. That's the fake out that keeps you broke as a broke nail tech. It's the clients, I might just have to find a new nail tech. And I'm always like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Can I refer you some people or do you have any ideas of where you wanna go? Because I would refer them some nail techs that might be more in line with their budget. And hey, if you really want to teach them a lesson, you can actually refer them to the crappiest salon in town and let them have a really bad experience, and then they'll come back to you begging to get back on your books and pay higher prices. So anyway, nail techs, please, this is a business. We lose so many female nail techs a year. They drop out of the industry, they're broke, they take jobs in other fields. It's tragic because their entire world is at their fingertips of they've got the control. They just have to let go of the fear that's holding them back, the fear that all their clients are gonna leave, because I promise you, it won't happen. All your clients will not leave. You will make more money working on less people until you fill in those few holes that become available. Does that make sense? I hope so, nail techs. So next time you know you have to raise your prices, I do it every 2-3 years tops, but some people do it every year. They raise it by $1 per service. Everything goes up $1. Like I would raise it differently, and that's another video I could do. But I'm telling you, don't go out of business because you're afraid. Look at it this way. What have you got to lose? You're gonna freaking crash and burn anyway. You might as well go down in flames with higher prices. So raise your effing prices, you know what I'm saying? And then watch what happens. Watch what happens. If you were going out of business, you were gonna quit, you were gonna sell all your products on eBay or at yard sales or whatever, what have you got to lose by raising your prices? Raise them, raise them. Peace out, nail techs.